Hey guys, so we're back. It's been a couple hours for me, a couple seconds for you, but we're downstairs. We're done with cross stitching and we're diamond painting. So, excuse the shakiness. I'm just pulling my chair or my table closer to my chair, and then we'll get set up. So I thought this part we could talk a little bit about just like my week last week, and excuse me if my dogs start barking because we live like 2 minutes away from we live like 2 minutes away from the fire station, and believe it or not, I have dogs who hate fire alarms. You can hear Bishop kind of growling. Yeah, so if you hear that, that's just their hatred for rescue missions. I know. So this is the boat from Diamond Painting Accessories. I will leave a link to their Facebook page in the description below. I used it a little bit last night. Last night was like the first time I diamond painted in a good bit. So, maybe like 4 days. So, I've liked it so far. I really have. My cats have come up here and jostled it around a little bit. And, I've had no problems with it. Like, so I'm happy for that. I'm not working with like the little tubes you can put in here right now, so that kind of stinks, but I'm just working with my Harbor Freight. This is Erase from Diamond Art Club, and yeah. What's what? Oh shit! What happened there? That's what I've been working on. Sorry if I'm a little out of whack. I don't know, it's been a weird couple hours since I last talked to you guys. I got up, I came downstairs, I moved around. I talked to real humans. And that always puts you a little out of whack, right? At least it does with me. So, alright, so last week was Diamond Art Club's why did I want to say unboxing? Last week was the Diamond Art Club's release of their new diamond paintings, and I purchased one new design, one design that has been out of stock for a while, and then I also received a design that I've just been kind of like crushing on. So I think those unboxings will be up before this paint with me. I don't know though, so I'm not going to tell you guys what I got, but you can go and check out my channel. It should be Diamond Art Club Unboxing Part 1 and 2, and this is my 4th and 5th unboxing with them, I believe. But the reason that I didn't purchase all 3 new designs is because I've just recently started purchasing from Diamond Art Club, so I haven't gotten a chance to collect all of like the older designs that I've kind of been crushing on and checking out. So I sort of have this order in my head of how I want to purchase them. So it's probably going to be a little bit before I'm just purchasing like straight new designs. I really want to try and get Jessica Rabbit. I think it's like I Was Drawn This Way, or It's Not My Fault I Was Drawn This Way, something like that. I want to try and get that maybe in May, but I kind of also want to slow down and have May be more about like working on my diamond paintings, because I do like having a stash But in the same vein of that, having a stash also like ranks my anxiety up like crazy. So I'm like not 100% sure. But I think I don't have a lot of plans to purchase more from Diamond Art Club. I do want to check out a couple of Amazon stores in May. Also, you guys, if I'm rummaging over here, it's because I'm taking a Claritin D. It's an allergy pill as well as a decongestant. Like, the minute I start filming, my hives that I got this weekend are like itching uncontrollably, so I'm just gonna nip it in the butt and take Claritin. I was trying not to take one because these things kind of put me in like a weird, even more squirrel brain than I have. I literally want to make t-shirts that say squirrel brain. I'm actually toying with the idea of doing that. I want to talk to Wendy. Excuse me, I'm going off my meds about it. But I would totally wear a squirrel brain t-shirt, and I don't think it would be too difficult of a design to come up with. So, yeah, random thought and random pill taking. Also, sorry, yeah, my dog saw a squirrel through the window. Look, they're gonna get that squirrel one day, okay? They're going to. They'll never get that squirrel, but I'm a very supportive mom, okay? Alright, so, last weekend, I'm sorry, I'm looking for, kind of like the sideways top hat. It always eludes me. Did I already get it out? No? So that's the normal top hat. Where's the sideways top hat? Am I just staring straight at it and can't see it? Oh no, it was turned on its side. Okay, so last week around like Tuesday, Cody asked me if we wanted to go visit his family for Easter. We haven't been up there recently, and I thought it would be a good idea. We got to spend some time with my family the weekend before, and while it is kind of a pain in the butt to go see his family because, you know, we travel up there and then we spend the night, and we're on an air mattress in his mom's living room because she doesn't have like an extra room for us like she did at her old place. And then of course, like, I don't have anybody to watch the dogs down here. My parents are not comfortable anymore, like I guess in their older age, with big dogs, as well as like, I don't know, we had the way my last dog passed away, Gigi, my pug, we left her with our roommate at the time, and unfortunately, due to like just like a couple of unfortunate events that had to like perfectly happen for this event, she passed away. So I don't know, it was such a freak accident. We're more comfortable with either bringing our animals with us if it's like a 1 or 2 day trip, or I've started toying with the idea of boarding them at our vet, because our vet that we go see has boarding if we ever want to take like a really long trip, which I'm hoping to do, and then maybe having someone stop in and like refresh the cats like water, refresh the cats' water dishes and things like that. So anyway, yeah, so he asked me if we wanted to go, and I said sure. So I'm like a big prepper for weekend getaways, so I had like Wednesday to prep for us leaving Saturday. And that was kind of stressful because Thursday I had to go to my therapist, and then because I've started seeing him every Thursday. And then Friday, not only did I want to attend Miss Crochet and Coffee's live, but I had to freaking go pants shopping because we were going to Easter service at his mom's church, and we don't really go to church down here, and by we don't really, I mean we don't go to church down here, and so I didn't have any appropriate jeans. Like, the ones I do have are like my ripped torn jeans, or like my short Daisy Duke jeans, which I feel like none of those are appropriate for church. And then in the winter, or the last time we went to church, I was wearing a skirt, and I was like, yeah, no, that's not happening, because me and skirts are a inappropriate reveal waiting to happen, because I'm not a skirt girl. I don't remember I'm wearing them, and then I do stuff that people shouldn't do in skirts. and even if I am like minding my P's and Q's with the skirt, I somehow always like flash somebody. So anyway, went shopping. I got a really cute set of dress pants. So I actually didn't end up wearing jeans, which was kind of nice. But I got a really cute set of dress pants, a shirt, oh my god, the most amazing high-heeled boots, because the dress pants were like for a giant, and I'm 5'10", but I needed these boots to take me up to about 6'1" for me to be able to wear them, so I have a really cute pair of boots now that I'm excited about. But yeah, we were shoving a lot of preparation into Friday. So honestly, I filmed throughout last week, but I didn't get a chance to edit anything or post anything, because I'm working on like a laptop that is great for like surfing the internet and doing like simple things, but when I have to run like my really hardcore editor on my computer is like, hey, I don't like this, so I'm gonna be the most unreliable computer. Yeah, I don't know why my computer sounds like Urkel, but it does, and it messes up a lot. So yeah, I have videos that I need to edit, but I just didn't get the time, and I thought I was going to be able to do it Monday, but I got sick over the weekend, which I kind of knew was going to happen, and like I'll talk about that a little bit more like during the story of the weekend, but yeah, I kind of knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know how like bad it would get, because yeah. So Gus hates the car. That's our bigger dog. He hates riding in the car. He's fine when he's in the car, but like physically getting him into the car is a Herculean feat. No joke. We have to lift a 90-pound dog between the two of us into the car, and it always ends up such a clusterfuck. And he looks so ridiculous when we do it, and he gives no shits. He's like, I don't care. I don't even want to be in here, so I'm going to make y'all look like fools. So we left Saturday, and I thought I was going to do like a vlog of the trip, and I got some footage that maybe I'll just like put into a random footage video. I got some footage, but I didn't really get like a whole lot to make it into a vlog. It would be like a 2 or 3 minute just like footage montage with me talking every now and then. So we were able to make it pretty much there with no stops. I think we had to stop at Buc-ee's once, and I got some really pretty pictures and videos there of the dogs just kind of hanging out and refusing to go to the bathroom in Gus's case, because I don't know if any of you guys have a dog who refuses to pee when he's on his leash, but Gus will not use the restroom if you are holding on to his leash. I don't know if it's a shy thing. I don't know if it's just like a weird quirk in his personality. I mean, I get it. I don't want someone holding a leash attached to my collar because, you know, I have one of those. I don't want someone holding on to me while I'm going to the bathroom. So I get it. I respect it. I don't begrudge him his weird quirk. But yeah, we were able to make it there. Pretty much a straight shot. And when we got there, it was really cool. We were going to be doing a burn pile. And if you guys aren't from the country, or I don't know if it's a southern thing. I don't think it's a southern thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do burn piles. But there are certain areas where you can do burn piles. You just have to like call, I don't know if it's for everywhere, but in where his mother lives, you just have to call in that you're doing a burn, and that call-in is good for the entire day. We did have a policeman drive down the street while we were doing the burn pile later that evening, but I think it was for a different reason, and it wasn't because we were doing the burn pile, although we were joking that we were going to get arrested. I don't know. But they're trying to burn a stump so they cut the tree down, and their chainsaw, it's a tiny chainsaw, it won't go through. Oh my gosh, I'm so annoyed with this paper right here. I don't cut it off because like I want the cat's fur to stay off of it, but then when I'm working, it's so annoying. So yeah, his blah 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 blah. His stepdad got some diesel and was soaking vegetable oil in this tree trunk all week, and then they were burning it in the front yard, and then they just had like a bunch of brush and trees and grass and all that stuff. So the first day we literally just sat outside and I cross-stitched and we let the dogs run free. And my dogs are really good about not being on a leash. They take commands really well. I never really thought that was a thing because all of my animals I've ever had have always been like what my dad likes to call runners. They will run away if they're not on their leash. But starting with my pug Gigi, I realized that like I could have dogs who didn't run away because she was really good about being off her leash, and when I told her to go home, she would run straight to our apartment door. So yeah, Bishop and Gus are actually really, really good about coming and going and stuff on their leash, and I kind of attribute it to the dog park. I think if you're ever wanting to maybe safely try and see if your dog will do well off a leash, provided you're in an area that doesn't have really strict leash laws, I think taking them to a dog park and kind of testing out how far what am I trying to say? Testing sort of out how well they'll listen to the commands. If we call the boy's name, if we say Gus or Bishop, they come straight back. We can tell them to drop it. So whatever's in their mouth, we have a saved command for them to like let it go if it's something bad. So yeah, we kind of tested that out. And around here where we live, we're in the city of Houston, so our dogs always have to be on a leash. We have very strict leash laws. But up where his mom is in the country, am I doing? Yeah, I'm doing the right color. Okay. There are less strict. I don't really think there are any leash laws. So we were letting the dogs run around, and I was cross-stitching, and we We sat out there for 8 hours and maybe talked a total of 2. It was a really relaxing Saturday. That is, though, where I got the hives, because while we remained in the shade of like big trees and stuff, my skin still got a lot of exposure to the sun. So, I mean, within an hour, I was already getting hives, but I was just like taking my Benadryl, and I don't know, I wanted to relax and I wanted to be out there, so I was like, okay, you know, I will just deal with it. And I mean, it's itchy and it's annoying, but it's not too bad. The only thing I kind of worry about is itching the skin over my tattoos. And I also don't want to have my tattoos out in the sun a lot. So I wore like a 3/4 length shirt. And it was so breezy and cool. I mean, that was honestly just like the perfect day. Now, the reason I knew I was going to get sick is kind of like a twofold reason. My asthma doesn't work super well switching climates. So in Houston, we're about an hour and a half away from the beach. So the level of humidity here it's real. We have high humidity almost all the time. I mean, we are not a dry heat. We are a walk outside, you are soaked in your sweat, in the humidity, and you're just damp. Everything is damp and hot. But the farther up we go, we kind of go to his parents, we go like northeast of Houston. Up there, we have a little bit more leniency with, I don't know, why am I saying leniency? I'm thinking about something in my head and talking, so like words are slipping. Up there, it's pretty dry. So that always kind of messes me up, but that normally is just like a headache and maybe, it's like a headache and maybe congestion, but I normally snap out of it after I've been there a little bit. But unfortunately, the other part of it is that his stepfather, his mom passed last year, and so it's been really stressful for him. And ever since I've known Cody, his stepfather was like a smoker, and he stopped for a while, and it was honestly it was really awesome when he stopped, because unfortunately I am really allergic to cigarette smoke. I didn't even know it was a thing until several years ago when I ended up in the emergency room. I was in anaphylaxis, so I had to receive adrenaline. I mean, there was more to it than just my cigarette allergy. But no, so I am very self-conscious. I know it doesn't seem like it, because, you know, I am very out there. But I'm very self-conscious about things that either limit me or things that limit what others can do, especially like my loved ones. And so I'm actually like really embarrassed about this allergy, because some of the most amazing people I know are either smokers or they have fought a really bad addiction, and like smoking is what keeps them pretty much level. And I would never ever begrudge anybody a coping mechanism. because God knows I have so many coping mechanisms. And if someone tried to say, hey, you can't, you know, cope with your emotions that way, yeah, no. But unfortunately, it's something like I can't control. It's something I do ignore. Cody's gotten very, very outspoken about it and protective of me about it, and I get it. It's his job. I'm the same way. If I know something is going to trigger him to get sick, or if I know something's not good for him, I'm like a fierce, fierce protector of him. But like, I can't do the same for myself, and trust me, I know, I'm working on it. There's therapy, y'all. There's therapy involved in all these quirks, so don't you worry. I'm well aware of it. But yeah, so I knew he was smoking again. And so I knew that that was going to be a challenge that needed to kind of be overcome by me. Whether that was staying away from him or just, you know, constantly making sure I had my inhaler. And, I mean, it's embarrassing, but so I kind of secretly, all that Saturday was like keeping away from him, and you know, he has the respect and he keeps away from me when he's lighting the cigarette and smoking it. And you know, he's always been really, really good when he did smoke. He was always really good about keeping his distance and I to him. And you know, we were able to be like very copacetic about the whole situation, because like, it's not his fault, it's not my fault. There's a reason for both of us, you know, having the issues we have. Mine's genetics, his is in some part genetics too, because he uses smoking as coping. Cody's mom doesn't like it. She's very scared for his life, his longevity because of the smoking. So is Cody. One of his grandparents passed away from lung cancer. I understand their concern, but I'm also a little bit more removed from the situation, I guess. So I can't really, I don't really say anything. But yeah, so Saturday it was amazing, you guys. Don't get me wrong. It was a really amazing weekend. We had so much fun. His brother was off at a baby shower. So, I mean, we were secretly hoping it was a date, but it was just a baby shower. We gave his brother a hard time about that. But so it was just me, Cody, his parents, and the dogs, and it was so nice and relaxing, and it was so freaking nice. Like I said, the only caveat was, you know, there was this whole kind of dance of me staying away from Michael when he was smoking, and Michael staying away from me, and me making sure that I had my inhaler and all that good stuff. And his mom was worried that the bonfire smoke was going to get to me. And, you know, I want to say something real quick. I am trying to tell a story about my amazing weekend, and I know that I'm in depth discussing the, I guess, quote-unquote bad parts, but I've realized lately, when there's so much happiness and joy in your life, there's only so much you can say. Like, I'm even talking with my therapist about this. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I'm like, my life is pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna stop in the cryy voice, but I'm like, I don't know what's happening. My life is pretty good. All of the major things that really should have broken my spirit and broken me were last year, and those were like really major things, like my dad having a heart attack and my stepmom having heart issues. Like, all of those things should be the major things that like I'm freaking out about, but I was able to deal with them pretty well because fortunately and unfortunately, however you want to look at it, I look at it in a positive light now. I've been through so much tragedy that when these things happen, I know how to deal with them. And I already have coping skills set. But when life is good and life is great and things are going awesome, I don't have the skill set to deal with just like the little problems that life has in store for me. Another thing that's actually like, wouldn't say like a diagnosis, but when I first started seeing my therapist like 5 years ago, I was emotionally stunted. And this can happen to anybody when you have a trauma so early in your life. So, you know, at some point, my emotional depth and my just whole entire viewpoint was still that of someone who was 14 or 13, you know, when my mom passed and things started happening, instead of the 24-year-old I was, or the 23-year-old I was. So that was something that I had to work on, and I think that's something a lot of people have to work on because nobody's upbringing is perfect, and I think there are a lot of times people are emotionally stunted and they don't realize it. And that's, to me, is more of a problem than realizing it and working on it, which is why I'm fine talking about it. I believe my emotional maturity has grown leaps and bounds, and I'm really proud of that. But, yeah, where was I going with this? It was going somewhere. Oh, right, yeah, so when I'm doing these whip-in chats, if I have something to talk about and it maybe leans towards the negative, I'm getting used to this whole tray still, so I sometimes still put stuff up and I don't maybe utilize it as best I could. But yeah, it's easier to talk about the hardships in your life because there's so much more that you can discuss, and you know, that's really what you have to get off your chest. So I see a lot of people who think that like their whip-in chats are very ranty or their whip-in chats are very negative. But the way I perceive it is whip-in chats are chatting with your friends. And with your friends, you talk about the stuff that you need to get off of your chest and the stuff that you need to release into the universe so that inside you are completely, you're still whole and it's not eating you inside. And so I'm going to get more comfortable with the fact that my whip-in chats are not me talking about how joyous everything is, because everything really is great. Like, I am having one of the best upswings in my life. Like, things are going really well, knock on wood. I want them to keep going this way. So when little things happen and I don't really have great coping mechanisms for the little problems in life, talking is the best form of therapy, and I encourage everyone to do so. In whip-in chats, I love to listen to people. I don't mind. I even sometimes enjoy listening to their problems because as someone who can relate to a lot of them, I like to listen to them, learn from them, and help them. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is I don't believe that there are any negatives to having whip-in chats where you're trying to kind of discuss things that have happened. I had an amazing weekend, but we are focusing on kind of what bothered me about that weekend because that is what I need from this chat. And it by no means is me trying to make this a negative. I just want to connect with people who maybe can, you know, take from this, learn from this, or even just, you know, empathize or sympathize, whatever. You guys, like, it doesn't, you know, it's just whatever you want to do with it. Find entertainment in it. So anyway, Saturday was awesome. Went to bed. I did take some Benadryl right before bed because I really wasn't feeling well. And I did take some Claritin because I knew I had been around the smoke and around the sun, so I was going to get hives and maybe my asthma was going to get a little bit irritated. And Sunday, what we had planned was to stay until about 5 and then come home. But they were having Sunday was Easter, so there was a family gathering, and we were doing the family gathering for like our section of the family around like 5 or 6. So, we decided to stay a little bit longer. So we get up around 7. Yes, trust me, I know, on a Sunday. And we had a breakfast at the church. And, this was when we actually got to see the extended family. We got to see Cody's brother. It was really fun and just light and jokey, and it was really nice time. And so we had church service, and then there was an Easter egg hunt for the kiddos, which I was very salty I was not allowed to participate in, because that's some type of ageism. I was even telling, I don't remember, I think I was telling Cody's uncle, I was like, yeah, I'll fight a 5-year-old. I will fight a 5-year-old for candy. Like, don't underestimate my crazy. I don't think they do, which is why, like, I wasn't allowed to participate, besides being an adult, but whatever. I got my own candy, and it was half off because I got it after Easter, so bam. Oh, I'll show you my favorite Easter candy. Yeah, I have it right next to me. Favorite Easter candy. These mini Cadbury eggs. I like white chocolate and milk chocolate, but I had milk chocolate already, and so I'm like enjoying the white chocolate. They're so good. If you guys have not tried them, run out there and get them before your stores are cleared out. If you're in the US, I don't know if they have them internationally, but my God, that stuff is so good. It's like a light shell around it. Oh my God, I can't even. It's just the best. And it only comes out around Easter, which I'm thankful for. Otherwise, I would be dead. I would be in a nice diabetic coma eating those. Or, having my last will and testament be stick more in my veins. So, anywho. Then we came home, and me and Cody went to Walmart. We wanted to grab some Mike's Hard Lemonade. I got a bottle of wine. I did not drink any of the wine there. I have it in my fridge. I had a cup on Monday, and I might have a cup tonight. I don't know. I normally, not even gonna lie, down a whole bottle by myself in one sitting, but I'm not doing that this time. I'm trying to enjoy it more for the relaxation purposes and not the get in my belly. Because, like, y'all, wine's fucking good. Like, if you're drinking that cheap shit, that Arbor Mist, that Sutter's Home, that stuff's like candy. And yeah, I call it cheap shit, but I well and fully drink that stuff. So I'm a fan. I may call it what I want. So we went to Walmart. I switched back into PJs because at this point I knew I was not doing too well asthma-wise. Like, my chest was getting really congested. I had to use my inhaler several times. Cody's stepdad had kind of started maybe like crossing boundaries. Like, he was sitting pretty close to me later in the evening Saturday while he was smoking, and we both also noticed that he was doing a pretty good job of killing a pack a day. And that worried me only for the fact that wasn't like him. So, we were kind of worried that, like, maybe something was going on. Later, Cody talked to his mom, and she just said his stress had been a lot worse lately. he had switched jobs and such, but he's kind of in the mindset of quitting again. But anyway, I was worried for me, but I was also kind of worried about like just him in general, because he really had never been like a pack a day kind of guy. So it was kind of upsetting because I didn't know what was wrong with him, and I don't know how to breach that subject with them because I'm not really that close to them yet. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever be. I'm not like a very touchy-feely, talky person. Maybe that's my emotional stuntedness, or maybe that's just the fact that that's how I was raised. But, so anyway, we went to Walmart and I got like this shirt that said I used to be a people person, but then people ruined it. Oh my god, I love like those stupid, ironic, like just totally dumb shirts at Walmart. Those are my jam. I have so many of them. I need to KonMari some of those, but fuck it. Like, no, they're mine and they're me, so back off. But then we came home. I chilled on the couch watching the ID channel, which that was glorious because we don't have cable. We just have streaming services, so I have to either watch some of the ID programs on YouTube, which I don't like to do because I know they're pirated, and also so that they don't get copyrighted or whatever, they have to change like the voices of the show slightly, so it's like really high pitched and whatnot. I sometimes will watch like the first 48 or some of those crime shows on Hulu. My dream is to have a crime podcast called True Crime, Craft and True Crime Time. Like, don't take that. I have already gotten the email. I want that so bad, but I'm like very intimidated by the research that is involved in a true crime podcast. Me and Cody tried to start one at our old apartment, and you know, we did a lot of research, and when we sat down to record it, Cody just realized it wasn't his cup of tea. Like, it was very easy for it's easy for him to like watch. I know, squirrel brain, I'm sorry y'all, that's why this might have to be like a two-parter because one, I'm getting kind of exhausted again, and two, there's just like so much to talk about. He told me that, you know, it's easy for him to listen to true crime podcasts and kind of listen to them for entertainment, but when he really had to start delving into the crime, okay, I'm going on a complete tangent, but I'm gonna keep it there. So the first crime we were gonna do was The Girl in the Box, which is the story, and I'm gonna just very quickly paraphrase it. It's the story of a girl who was hitchhiking, and this is what sucks. She was hitchhiking, and the first car that stopped was a group of guys who asked her where she was going, and she thought to herself, like, no, I'm not going to get in that car. It's a group of guys. I don't feel comfortable with that. And so she told them that she didn't need a ride and thank you. The next car that pulled up was a man, his wife, and their baby. And she was like, oh, okay, well, this is a family. I feel comfortable doing that. Subsequently, this guy kidnapped her, kept her, and since I didn't put a disclaimer, I'm not going to like get into the details, but he kept her in a box under his bed for 8 years. His wife knew. She helped with the children sometimes. There was even a point when he let her out of the box to visit her family. He made up this entire conspiracy about him being part of this like government organization that had like high up people who knew that he had her captured. He made her sign her life away as his like slave for eternity. I mean, this case was crazy, and I thought it would be cool to start with a case that it ended and she did escape. The wife actually in the end helped her escape, but I was like, that's way too little too late. The guy went to jail, but the wife actually received a plea deal and just got to like change her name and go like live her married life. But yeah, when we were researching it, you know, we had a bunch of notes and all of that stuff, but Cody said, look, like halfway into the recording, he's like, babe, he's like, I know you want to do this, but for me, listening to this stuff is easy. But when I have to delve into this woman's, like, into the details of her capture and her abuse, and, like, I understood. He was basically saying that, like, listening to it is, like, fine. Because, you know, when you're listening to something, you can kind of block out the parts you really don't want to hear. But when you have to immerse yourself in the story, it becomes too real for home. Now, see, I grew up with like a father who has a bachelor's in the Civil War. He's like a huge history buff. So early on, I had to learn to like listen to the stories he told, but also like detach myself a little bit, like keep humanity in the storytelling, but also take myself out to where like it didn't damage me. So I see them as people, and I still see them as cases, and I see them as stories, but I also am able to compartmentalize their tragedies with my own emotions. And Cody just can't do that, which is fine. I think it takes a certain type of person, and I'm not saying like a bad person, but it just takes a certain type of person to be able to hear stories, retell them, and not get so emotionally invested like he does. So yeah, that was like the story of the one time we almost started a podcast, but didn't. And I don't want to start one by myself, I don't think, because I don't know who would keep my squirrel brain in check. So I don't know. I think it's just like a dream I have. But anyway, I have no idea how that came. Oh yeah, ID channel on the couch Sunday, just chilling. Kind of helped Cody's parents prep for the dinner. Not really. His cousin Alyssa did, and she's freaking awesome. Like, coolest chick, one of my favorite people in his family. Just, I totally click with her. She is really cool. So we didn't have another bonfire, but I got to hang out with his baby cousins. There's a 9-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1.5-year-old. And so we got to hang out and chat. It was fun. The dogs towards the end of the evening were kind of getting on my nerves because I had to watch them constantly. And Gus is a big teddy bear, but Bishop's kind of like very weary of men. We got Bishop for Cody's birthday one year because Cody had never had a dog that, you know, was his own. So that's how Bishop came to be. But Bishop was actually extremely traumatized. We don't know the story, but something happened with him and a man. And so, you know, we were excited. We had this puppy. I was waiting for Cody to come home from work. Cody knew we were getting him, by the way. I didn't just go buy a puppy. As much as I would have wanted to, I try and be courteous of his feelings. But, yeah, Bishop had a hard time with Cody. So, yeah, Bishop's kind of weary of men. And so, I don't know, it got exhausting. We had brought their crates, so at one point, I, like, put the boys down for a nap, and oh my god, the blessing of this is Monday when we got home, the dogs slept all Sunday night, all Monday. They were freaking so tired. It was amazing. Oops. But yeah, no, Sunday, his stepdad was right next to me smoking constantly, and there was not a lot of shade in the front yard, so there wasn't really a lot of places I could go. And even though he was sitting downwind, what I try and educate them on when they ask me to is that no matter where his stepfather smokes, when it's an illness or when it's an allergy, I can go hug his stepdad who hasn't smoked all day, but that smoke is still on his skin. The soot of that smoke is still on his person, and it irritates me. It irritates my throat, it irritates my asthma, and I, in the end, do suffer. But we didn't know that he was like a pack-a-day smoker, so I wasn't quite prepared for how bad my allergy was going to trigger. Like, thankfully, I only had one really bad asthma attack. Hit one of his cousins, the 9-year-old. She's a little girl. She doesn't weigh that much. She asked me to give her a piggyback ride, and I wasn't feeling great, but Cody was already pulling the 4-year-old and the 18-month-old in a wagon. So, I don't know. I got up, and I was giving her a piggyback ride, and it got to a point where, like, I was having trouble breathing. And I wasn't wheezing, so in my head, like, I'm literally the worst asthmatic, you guys. Like, I will say that a million times over. I don't mean it as, like, a joke. I really, like, I sometimes wonder what the fuck is wrong with me. If, like, I will get to a point where, like, I can't breathe, and then I'll be like, oh, shit, you pushed yourself too much. So, yeah, it kind of got to that point where I was, like, kind of starting to have spots in my vision. And so I put her down, and she wasn't too happy about that. She's a very outspoken and feisty 9-year-old, which I get. I can totally understand. I think that's my future children, so I get it. Don't worry, God. I see what you're trying to prepare me for. But yeah, I had one incident. After that, I went and sat down and thought that would fix it, but I had to run inside, and it was so funny. His 4-year-old cousin came up to me, and she's like, your hair is so pretty. And I'm, like, not able to breathe at this point, and I'm, like, kind of panicking, and Cody's right there, and I just looked at her, and I'm like, if I pass out, it'll be nice to know the last thing I hear is her telling me that my hair is pretty, and that, I don't know, she's just, like, such a sweetheart. I've known her since she was 1.5. Like, she's just, like, it's just such an awesome kiddo. And so she sat with me while I took my inhaler, and we were supposed to stay until about 9, but everyone was leaving around a certain point, and I did get to a place where, like, I was desperate to go sit in our car because that was the only place that I wasn't getting, like, sharp pains in my chest, because that was, like, the only place that had quote-unquote, like, clean air. Yeah, and so I got frustrated at myself towards the end of Sunday. Like I told you, I'm very hard on myself. I'm hard on myself because of my mental issues. I'm hard on myself. I'm just, like, I'm like my world, I'm the world, blah, 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 blah. What am I trying to say? I am my own worst enemy. Like, no matter what you guys, like, I used to tell this to myself, like, when I was a kid. I was like, no matter what you guys are, like, my classmates, no matter what you guys do to me, I promise you, I will always be worse to myself than you are. And I think that's a lot of people out there, and I think it's important to recognize that about yourself and to try and quell it. I do sometimes, but when I'm sick, everything, like, my emotions are out of whack. My kind of meter for being nice to myself is out of whack. And so I was very, like, I was telling Cody, I was like, I had an amazing weekend. I don't want you to think that I didn't, but, you know, I am not doing good. We need to leave. And then I just kept, like, apologizing and saying I'm sorry. And Cody was like, you don't have to say you're sorry. He's like, I'm not frustrated at you, I'm frustrated at you know who, and I don't know. But I think it was handled a lot better than like before. We thought about maybe getting him a vape, and Cody talked to his mom about that, I think yesterday or the day before, and she said that, I don't know, at first she kind of got snippy like she normally does, but then, you know, she kind of understood where we were coming from, and she talked to Michael about it, and that's when we found out that Michael, I hate that I say his name. Oh, it's fine, they don't watch this. She talked to him about it, and, we realized, like, he was at a place where he was okay with, quitting. So, I don't know. It was a really good weekend. There were just some ups and downs that, you know, I've talked a little bit about with some of my friends, but it's nice to sit down, and while I'm telling you guys the story, I'm also kind of seeing it in a different light, inside my head. And again, that's like another really cool thing that I like, is when I'm telling you guys stories, it gives me time to sit in quiet, to work on my diamond painting, and to just outwardly voice my internal feelings, which helps me kind of analyze them a little bit better. So yeah, Cody stayed home from work on Monday because I think the barbecue kind of hurt his stomach Sunday. So it was kind of nice because he was able to, while he was sick, he was able to also help me catch up, because you know how people say that they need a vacation from their vacation? That is so true. You're gone 2 days and oh my god, everything falls apart in your house. And when my dad leaves for a month, we're going to be taking care of 2 houses, 10 animals, and we're going to need like a month to recover after that. It's going to be insane. I'm not looking forward to it. But it is what it is, you know, you help out your family. And I love the animals that I'm watching because, you know, they're my childhood family pets. Blah, but it's daunting. But yeah, so that's why The Sims wasn't recorded and posted on Monday. I had like a fever Monday, and Monday evening I looked at Cody and I said, do you know what I want more than anything in the world? He's like, you know what? I'm like, I want a cup of coffee, I want a glass of wine, and I want a bottle of water. I'm like, that combination is probably going to make me even more ill than I already am. And I had a fever at the time, and he was just like, I'm going to get it for you. And he did, and I had it, and it was awesome. And oh my god, do you know what we started watching Monday? And we finished last night? Because what's today? Today's Wednesday? I think today's Wednesday. I don't know, guys. Days run together. We started watching, we got HBO through Amazon Prime, so it's like $16 a month, but that's fine because like Amazon has some of like HBO has like some of the best documentaries. I just finished one about the inventor of Theranos. If you've never watched it, it's called The Inventor Out of Blood in Silicon Valley. It's a really good show about almost, I don't want to say a Ponzi scheme, but like the woman, Elizabeth Holmes, is still like being convicted and like prosecuted right now, but it's not like a murder or anything. It's more like a corporate crime. I find those just as interesting. Yeah, but we got HBO, and on HBO, we got it for Game of Thrones because I'm rewatching that with Cody, but we also watched Neverland, the newest documentary about Michael Jackson and that whole scandal. Oh my good god, like, I don't want to talk about it in this within chat, because like I said, I haven't put disclaimers on this, and if I ever do like a craft and true crime time, I will have disclaimers all throughout the video, because I know that that's extremely important for some people, because some people, it's not everybody's cup of tea. But if you have not watched it and you are into true crime, I mean, even if you're a freaking fan of Michael Jackson, there's some guy who's running for president, and I don't get into politics, I'm not going to talk about that, but there's some guy who's running for president, and he had one of the best lines. He said something along the lines of, I don't have, like, okay, because, you know, they always ask, like, the presidential candidates, like, kind of weird, not weird questions. I get why they ask them, but sometimes I'm just like, that was totally out of nowhere. This is the guy who is the mayor. I can't remember where he's mayor at, but he's also, he came out like a couple of years ago, so he's like an open gay man. I think he's married to his partner. And they asked him how he felt about like this whole Chick-fil-A scandal. Like, I believe San Antonio Airport stopped Chick-fil-A from building in their airport. See, I don't like have all the facts, but I just sort of know it's something like they stopped them from building in the airport because of their taxes last year showed a lot, or this year showed a bunch of donations to like, I don't even know what they're called. I literally call them Pray the Gay Away camps. I am not a fan of them. It pisses me off. I've known for a while that like Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby are some of the biggest companies that are supporting very anti homophobic campaigns. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. I really stay away from Hobby Lobby. And I also don't get the hype over Hobby Lobby when you've got Michael's and Joann's, where you can get coupons and make everything just like so much more reasonably cheaper. And I also, don't come for me, don't understand Chick-fil-A. I don't get the lemonade. I don't get the chicken. Like, I don't understand what people like about them. I like their waffle fries because they're a cool shape, and I like to say that I'm eating waffle fries, but like other than that, I don't get the big deal. Again, like I said, don't come for me. It's not anything against them. I mean, yes, there's a lot against them, but what did he say? He said, the guy, the candidate said, he said that someone asked him how he felt about Chick-fil-A, and he said, I really like their chicken. I really hate their policies. And I just thought that that was the most freaking real and honest thing, because you don't have to like someone's, I guess you would say, background to appreciate they make good stuff. Like, I fully believe after watching the Neverland series, like I was a tentative maybe on what all those allegations were about Michael Jackson, and gosh darn it, I just did that. Shit. I think I know which ones it was. Was it A? No. Crap. See, I'm wrapping this up, so I was not paying attention to where these came from. That's too much. What was I saying? Oh, right. So, like, I understand. Michael Jackson, amazing creator. His music, fabulous. He's done so much for the genre. Wasn't a great guy. And after watching the Neverland documentary series, like, it's very, very obvious. Like, I understand it's a very one-sided. I think those are it. If not, it's just going to get my picture more character. I know it's a very, very one-sided documentary. Most documentaries are never equal and fair. They're always pretty much very one-sided. It's not those. You know what I could have done? I could have just looked back at the tape to see where this goes, but I didn't do that. But yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, I can appreciate the guy's music a little bit, but I really don't support it. And after watching this documentary, I went from like a tentative, yes, he was guilty of the accusations, to a, yeah, motherfucker's gonna need to give me some hard motherfucking proof that he didn't do this now. But anyway, I know that was like a really weird, rambly side note that I'm really hoping didn't offend anybody, but it's just like what I would normally talk about. But yeah, it's a really good documentary to watch if you're interested in stuff like that. It's not for the faint of heart. It gets extremely graphic and it's very, very hard to watch, but I think it's one of the most detailed and eye-opening and in-depth documentaries about that situation. So I really enjoyed it. I know I'm late to the game. It came out like last year or early this year. I need to get better about using this thing, but I'm not like in a really dense like confetti area yet. I just have this little tendril of hair. So probably when I move more towards her face and stuff, this is going to come a lot more in handy. But yeah, I really enjoyed that documentary. And then I kind of got my butt in gear and I did a little bit of cleaning yesterday, which was Tuesday. And I also filmed an unboxing, so I'm hoping I can do some gosh, my dog is snoring loud. I'm hoping I can do some editing today or tomorrow. But yeah, I'm probably just going to leave this as one whip and chat. I know it's pretty long, but I haven't been around for a while. I think it's been like a week or something since I posted. So I feel like a longer whip and chat is probably in order. And I like really long whip and chats. I will either like devour them whole or I will watch them slowly over time. So like do what you like with it. But I'm going to put this out there. Another long one and hope you enjoy it. But yeah. Thank you guys so incredibly much for all the love and support. I'm almost at 400 subscribers. I think I am going to sneak in a hidden message for my 400 subscriber giveaway, which I just decided earlier today I was going to do. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. But thank you guys so much. I'm so astonished at how fast my channel, for me, I mean, I know a lot of people have grown faster, but for how kind of irregular my content was for a while, and then how like issues keep, yeah, I know, I'm like spilling these little white ones, and how like issues keep arising that kind of stop me from posting on a like regular basis. I do try and post as much as I can throughout the week, but like some weeks, like last week, I wasn't able to post. But I'm really happy, and I'm so ecstatic, and I thank you guys so much for all the love and support that I've received. Some of my comments are literally just so amazing, and they make my day. And I wanted to say thank you to you guys, so I'll probably do that with the 400 subscriber giveaway. Like always, if you made it through this, I'm just like really perversely curious if you did, so leave like a cool emoji below. My favorites have been like the little nerdy face, the skull, or those sneaky lurker eyes. That's what I call them. So leave an emoji below if you guys have been able to make it through. Thank you guys so incredibly much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe already. Or please subscribe. I don't know why my words are getting jumbled. Give this video a like if you liked it. You don't have to, but I would appreciate it. And until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to go and make another cup of coffee and find another really juicy documentary to get into. So until next time, have a great day. Bye guys.